Hey, this is Adam McKay.
And this is Will Ferrell. Thanks for downloading this podcast on podcastone.com.
You didn't have to do it, and we appreciate it. We appreciate your time and your consideration.
You're busy. You got better things to do. And please go see Anchorman 2. That's the other thing we wanted to tell you.
We wanted to say that so you go see it. You know what? You don't have to, though, honestly.
You already downloaded this.
That's probably
enough. But if you get some more energy, if you feel like doing an additional thing, go see Anchorman 2. No pressure. Totally up to you.
Anchorman 2 is in theaters Friday, December 20th. Podcastone.com is available right now. Remember when you had to listen to radio programs on their schedule? Well, with this podcast, life is better because you get to listen on your schedule. But what about backing up your computer files at home or at work? What's your schedule look like there? You don't need to schedule that either, as long as you have Carbonite. Carbonite backs up your files to the cloud for you automatically whenever you're connected to the internet. You can try it for yourself free right now at Carbonite.com. There's no credit card required. Plus, if you use offer code WOMEN, you get 2 bonus months with your purchase. That's Carbonite.com, offer code WOMEN. The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. PodcastOne.com presents the Ask Women Podcast. A place where 2 female comics and a professional wing girl get together to dissect the female mind.
You don't know how I feel.
And explain it to men in terms they can actually understand. Boobs. Now, here's the lovely ladies of Ask Women.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ask Women Podcast. I am one of your awesome hosts on certain days, Kristen Carney, and I'm here, of course, with Marni Kinrys, the best-selling author and relationship expert.
Do you see how enthused she is when she says these things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's quite depressing, actually. Like, everybody is now turning off their podcast.
Yeah, well, it's like, who
She's
wants
like,
to be...
yeah, we're here.
Yeah, it's a podcast. Like, it's so fake. But,
we're so awesome. Listen to us every day.
Well, if you want me to get more depressed, I can just intro Mo right now. That's
hey now, the voice of man is here.
We're so excited. Don't be depressed about Mo. Mo is back.
I'm back.
Are you Mo, just Mo, or are we going to say a last name?
You know, it's
Mo Beast Mode.
Mo Darwich, Mo Beast Mode, Gimme Mo, Mo Cheese Mo, Mojo,
you're
Mo Money, Mo Problems.
You're Gimme Less. I'm just going to intro you as Gimme Less.
So douchey.
Thanks for listening, guys. I'm so excited today. Can you sense it?
You sound it.
Yeah.
You sound so excited.
Well, we have some things on the show that are going to make me incredibly awkward.
Oh, yes.
One of them,
so you know the gift I'm getting you.
No, I don't, but I do know.
See.
Oh, I know the gift.
No, God, I don't even. This is horrible news to break to me on air. But we have guests that are going to make me incredibly awkward. We have Mike and Holli from Swing on Playboy Radio, which is, I think, the number one
show on Playboy Radio.
Yeah,
that I was on a couple of weeks ago. They're awesome. They're a great couple.
I really hope Swing just refers to like swing sets. Like,
it does. It's all
the
about
playground,
swing sets, and it's the number one
perfect.
show on Playboy Radio.
I'm so excited then to talk about it.
I am really
Read the
excited.
description.
A weekly exploration of the swinger lifestyle of swing sets. No, I'm just kidding. Swinger lifestyle as seen through the eyes of Michael and Holli. 2 real swingers. I hope they're real. If they'd be a fake swingers, it would be like bizarre.
It's so depressing.
And cast members of Playboy TV Swing. Are you deep into the scene or vanilla? I don't know what that means. It seems racial. Are you vanilla? I would add in or chocolate.
How deep are we talking? Are we talking about
They get deep into it.
Yeah, they get deep in that.
Full swap or soft swap? I don't know what any of this means.
Well, you're going to find out.
Are you curious? No, I'm scared.
Oh my!
I'm excited. No,
it's interesting.
I'm totally dreading
pass my
all
computer
of this.
back to me.
Like, do people just show up to their house on Sunday and be like, I'm here for the gangbang?
Yes, that is the whole thing.
Swing.
They do.
Swing is just another term for gangbang. Totally.
Well,
Yeah.
after I did their show, I was asking them about it because, like, you know, I'm always curious about how things work, and even though I talk about a lot of things, I guess I'm pretty prude to doing a lot of things. And I was like, how do you get involved
That's why I like
in
you.
this? I know, you feel safe with me. But so I was like, so how do you like start this? Because they're totally like normal people, and I was saying before, like when I picture swingers, I picture like hideous people. Like ugly people. I don't know why it's a horrible thought to have, but that's what I picture. But they're so attractive. They're so open. They were really freaking cool. And they started telling me about these parties that they have that are just like swinger parties.
That's crazy.
But you don't have to do anything. You can be voyeuristic and just watch people. You can be the person who's just perform. Like where it's just like a casual party, and then sometimes there's people like giving blowjobs in the corner. Like that's how it works.
But that's
But it's
really
just-
creepy.
But the way you'll hear how they explain
Okay.
it, it's awesome.
I'm in.
Like I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I went home and told my husband, I'm like, okay, so there's these parties that we can go
I was
to.
approached by swingers once.
No, you were
I
not.
swear to God, I was like, you guys totally
What did they say to you?
misread people because. Well, they said I was waiting tables and I was their waitress, and I can't even remember at this point because it was like many years ago. But they gave me weird looks throughout the entire service or whatever, and I was like, I think they're flirting with me. Like they were giving me like eyeballs, and it was making me super uncomfortable. And the manager on duty at the time, super gay dude, and so he can kind of like they're ultra like aware of sex and things, whatever. And he's like, oh, they are totally into you. And so they ended up at the end of the meal saying something like, what are you doing later? And I was like, oh, just going home. I don't know. And they said like, well, we do this thing where we invite other people. And I basically was like, you guys are super sweet. You're attractive. Like I tried to turn them down, not in a creeped out way, but I was completely
That's so sweet
out.
of you, because I wouldn't think you would handle it that way.
No, I was very
feel
smooth.
Like you'd crawl up into a ball.
Well, I'm working for tips. Yeah. You know what I mean? In the end, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I do want to say this before we move on. Haley isn't with us.
I know.
And she's unfortunately not going to be with us going forward. She had, opportunities. She's been great. But, she'll go on to greener pastures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Mo in place who has, wonderful blonde hair as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's now the blonde on our show. The hot blonde.
I have a swinger story as well.
You do?
And it happened in a restaurant. It's so funny. Like, I feel like that's where these swingers go to pick people up is in restaurants. I was bartending at this bar restaurant, and there's this ex-porn star that would come in called Lori Pleasures, has tits like the size
that was her
of
name.
watermelons. Yeah.
That's her given name.
That was her given name by
Her
birth.
parents knew she was going to have a bright future.
She was born with watermelon boobs as a baby, and they're like, we'll call you Lori Pleasures.
Yeah.
But no, and her and her husband would come in, and they were known swingers. And one day I'm just hanging out at the bar doing my thing. I got to get to know them. They're really friendly. And the husband had a couple drinks, and he pulls me aside. He grabs me by the neck, and he looks me in the eyes, which is really creepy. And he's like, do me a favor, buddy. I'm like, yeah, anything. He's just go bang my wife for me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, just bang my wife.
And then you did.
No, I didn't. But I went to the other...
You banged him instead?
I went to the other bartender, Gaetano, who's like this dominatrix dude. I'm like, yo, Gaetano, this guy wants someone to bang his wife. He's all, yo, no problem. And he goes in the back room.
I love that he's like the martyr. He's like, oh, I'll do it.
And of course he's Italian, too.
Yeah.
He's Italian. Goes in the back room and bangs this guy's wife.
What?
And he comes out,
That's
he's
not
like...
swingers, though, is it?
He comes out, he's like, that was the woman.
Well, did the husband watch?
No, I don't think the husband watched. He just gave it away. Like, yo, go do it for me.
If I were him, Gaetano, what was his name?
Gaetano.
That's actually my cousin's last name, which is humiliating for the story right now. But if I would have been offended that I wasn't the first asked, and that I would be like, no, thank you.
No, this guy would go after anything. And then he comes back. His line was the best. He's all, yo, dude, that was the warmest pussy I've ever been in. It was like an easy bake oven.
Because I'm sure she's had sex 18 times that night because her husband's forcing
everything
it.
about you in that story. An easy bake oven doesn't get that hot, though, by the way. Like, if he wanted to actually say it was hot, he'd be like, the oven in the back of the restaurant. The fire oven for the pizza.
Those easy bake ovens.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to give you a gift, Kristen.
Oh, God, this is horrible.
Because we got an interesting gift sent to us by the people at tenderbeaver.com. Yes, and it's called...
They're referring to woodchuck.
It's called a tom.
Right?
It's called a tom.
Oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening.
People
I literally want to
So this is
away.
the tom, okay?
It looks like a litter box.
Okay, so this is the tom.
Ew.
Wow.
No.
Okay, and so then this...
It's like a bedpan.
It does. It looks like a bedpan. But then this is what you suction cup to it. A huge penis dildo.
What
so
is
basically,
going on?
Tom is the other man mount for suction cup dongs.
Okay, first of all,
It came in
let's
the
just-
mail yesterday. I was like, I'm
All right.
totally bringing this to
Crystal jellies.
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, that means you gave out an address, so you knew it was coming, and you knew you were going to do this to me.
Absolutely. They wrote in. So they were like, yeah, talk about my product. And
It's
my
funny
shirt,
'cause
send me one.
I saw them write to us on Twitter, and I was like, I hope Marnie doesn't see that.
Oh,
so I was like,
I
not
wrote
going to
back.
respond. And
I
you were
wrote
like, I
back.
love Tender Beaver. I was like, damn it.
I just wanted free shit. I didn't care what
Wow.
it was, but I'm like, send it over.
All right, for all of you guys who aren't in the studio, so that's a lot of you, I'm going to explain the
At least four.
packaging right now, which looks like children's packaging.
It
It's
does, like
pink,
a Barbie.
Pink, yellow, and purple. Totally looks like a Barbie package.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't look like a Barbie inside. Well, although you could probably still use a Barbie for the same thing.
If she had a suction cup.
And then this other thing, it looks like a triangle.
Here's what it looks
past
like.
What's inside?
I don't even know.
This is what it looks like online. So you suction cup it to the tom.
Wow.
Why don't they just screw it onto the tom?
But listen, let's be honest here. Inside that packaging is a big black 8-inch dong with like a 3-inch girth.
It's see-through. It's a black see-through dong.
It's a massive dong.
It's unbelievable. Well, thank you so much,
you're
Marni.
welcome.
I would
It's an
like
early
to thank,
Christmas gift.
I'd like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank my listeners.
And the people at Tender Beaver.
No.
.com. You're like, I don't want to thank them.
You know what? We should do a video for our users to watch on how to
make Kristen uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I wanted you guys to listen to something else because today's episode is all about, or at least in my mind, it's all about fetishes and fantasies and whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether it's okay.
Fantasy is the show's over already.
But I wanted to play you this interesting clip I had on a very interesting fetish and hear what you think about it.
Nathaniel asked me to come up here. Basically, he had something that he wanted to tell me. I don't know exactly what it's about, but I'd like to know what's going on in his life.
Yeah, it's something pretty important I want to talk to you about.
Pretty intense.
It's not important. It's weird.
I'm just going to come out and say it, I guess. I'm in an intimate relationship with Chase, sexually and emotionally.
You're in an intimate relationship with your car.
Yes.
And
with your car.
All right. Okay. First of all, I knew that was coming because if he had a name for his car named Chase, you're already taking it too far. So I know there's like some sort of like touching and feeling going on there.
Here, play a little bit more.
How does that work? How can you have sex with a car?
Mainly, it's just a lot of just rubbing up against him.
Against him.
Bullshit.
Him.
And it involves masturbating as well.
No.
Help me out. This started...
It mainly started when I was younger. I just didn't have a lot of friends. And
I've always been kind of a loner.
Yeah.
I always liked it alone.
Right. I just started having those feelings more and more after I hit puberty. And
you're going to deny these feelings? Okay, I think we can stop listening to it.
As far as the sexual
side.
Was this from... Does anyone remember the preview or I kept seeing the ads for TLC, the show. Where
this is from some TV show.
But there's a show on TLC which is like Strange Addictions or something like
maybe that is what it was.
And this guy was like
is?
making
Nate's
out with his car.
He's like, yo, man, I put a pocket pussy in the exhaust and got a lot of mileage out of it.
But what do you think about this fetish?
Well, it's interesting that he referred to it as a him because most people say, oh, little Betsy or she is purring or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's Chase.
Yeah, so it's like a dude. So is he straight or gay?
I guess he would be gay then as well.
Maybe he's straight and it's just
or
like
bisexual.
What is it called when you're into cars?
Fucked up.
Wow.
Pretty much. But it's okay. This is the thing. There are tons of people with crazy things going on inside of their mind all the time. Fetishes, fantasies. What's okay and what's not okay? And I'm not really sure where to go with this conversation.
Well, where it's not okay, I think the line is when something cannot return feelings. Like he's saying, I'm intimate with my car. Yes, you are intimate with your car. Your car is not intimate with you.
Right.
But if your car could speak, it would drive as fast away as possible.
But that's the thing. This is sort of I think a harmless fetish because it's not really affecting anybody else. Like people have sex with animals. I think that's fucked up.
Right. That's another thing because the animal is not returning.
It's not choosing either. It's like you're basically raping.
Yeah,
he's not really raping his car. He technically is, yeah. But the car can't have feelings to say, I don't want to do. I don't even know how to phrase this.
The car is no means no. Yeah, I can't say that.
I think what could be real useful for our listeners is because look, all guys have fantasies. We do, and we don't always necessarily share it with our significant other or that person we're dating. So if we do have these off fantasies that we know might put off our partner, I think finding a way to share it with them would be really useful.
Okay, so let's say a guy is into cars. Yeah. Would the way to share this fantasy be to have sex in cars and he takes a seatbelt and rub it against himself? That would be the good way.
Yeah, if you and your partner bang in the car or on top of the car, technically that's a threesome.
Pretty much.
The guy.
It should be, and then also it should be it should be a foreign-made car, because then it could be like super exotic.
This is Jason.
Him and Gaetano.
This is Pierre.
This is my German-made car. It's like, ooh, this is getting weird.
This is fun, exactly. No, but it's interesting because I think I told you guys the other day about what was it called? The Cannibal Cop.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if people who are listening know this story, but it's about this guy who was a cop, and he had this whole other fantasy world where he would go online with millions of other people as well who also go online.
I can't even believe that.
That's crazy.
Millions of people. But they go on, and their fantasy world is about mutilating people. So what they do, it was a huge case in New York about a year and a half or 2 years ago. It was massive. And he's like the sweetest, nicest guy, but he happens to have this fantasy world. But he never acts out on it. This is the thing. It's just in his fantasy world. So he would go online, and you would take a picture of somebody like, okay, today, here's Rachel. What are we going to do to her? Like 3 other guys from around the world would just start writing to each other and saying, here's what we're going to do. But what happened with this Cannibal Cop is that he brought his wife into this fantasy. He took a picture of her and said, what are we going to do to my wife? They wrote about it. His wife happened to find this communication and thought that he was plotting to murder her, so she turned him into the police. And that's where all of this came from. And it turns out that it's just a fantasy world. He's had this fantasy in his mind since he was about 12 years old, or so probably even earlier than that. But this is just his fantasy world.
Well, the thing is I'm sure if there's millions of people on this website, they're not all acting on these fantasies. Right. But there are some that do. And so people having a fantasy is, I guess, healthy. So I guess I'm really unhealthy because I don't have them. I really don't. I'm so sad. But the point is when it becomes like a murdery thing. I don't know. I'm not getting anywhere with this except don't.
I feel like that's crossing the line.
Right.
But there are pornos out there, snuff films where the man kills the woman in the act of sex.
There was a story.
And there's a lot of people that are into that.
There's a story.
They made a movie about it.
So I'm hoping to have sex with a guy who has a heart attack. So I'll be like, oh, that was so sexy. There was a story, I think maybe like a year or two ago, about a kid who was from France. And I don't remember the details. It just came to me. But he was like this, I don't know if he was French or Canadian or something, but he went by a different name. He was like a sociopath. He spoke very methodically and robotically, but he ended up murdering his boyfriend and eating him.
Oh, God.
Wow. And he was very, I don't
turned
know,
on by it?
Turned on and whatever. And so, if you take it too far, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just, to me, the whole thing is like, why not take up a different hobby?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's what their fantasy is. So I think that this would be a good topic to discuss in this week's chapter of The Man's Playbook.
On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. Yeah. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
Okay, so what I want to talk about today, and mainly I want to talk to Kristen about this, because as a woman, what are you willing to tolerate and what are you open to? Like, let's say that your boyfriend came home and said, I have a fantasy that is X. I don't know what it is. Like, let's say it's not about killing people, but it's about, actually, let me go look at my list of the top fantasies for men, and I can actually tell you what one of the fantasies would be.
Only one I'd be, okay with is if he was
what is off limits?
I have a fantasy of, being in Home Alone and, having sex, in the, the basement where, the mean dungeon was, or something, cute.
Well, no,
I loved Home Alone. I don't know. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Okay,
you're perfect because you're not the most overly sexual individual. So if you're with a guy who is overly sexual, how do you go about accepting his fantasies? Or how does he even approach you?
Yeah.
Just leave it open on the internet. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
But you would
That's
be okay
weird,
with it.
but whatevs. It depends. It totally depends. I know from, past experience that, my significant other has been into sex. I mean, that's okay. That's fine.
Has been into sex. Right.
But
weird things with sex?
No.
What about one of those rape fantasies? That's real popular.
I mean, I would kind of get that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's power and dominance. I get that.
Okay,
I'm
so you would be okay with okay, let me actually just
I would be
the
okay
list.
with knowing it But I wouldn't really necessarily be okay with, like, going with it. Like,
Really?
Yeah. And that's just who I am, unfortunately. I'm very uptight, and I'm very judgmental towards stuff like that. So I would want him to not feel like he has to hide things from me, but at the same time, he would know that I would think it's, like, weird and that he'd have to go elsewhere to, like, act on it.
So you'd be okay with him doing it. You wouldn't break up with him for it, but you would tolerate him doing it on his own.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
a little bit. But if it was like he had like this weird like sex dungeon where they like chained up women, I'd be like, dude, like get a life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, very mildly, I would be okay with something, but
like
nothing
him, like
extreme.
watching a video and cranking out to it, and that's
well,
about
what
it.
would you be okay with if your girlfriend said to you, I don't even know. Well, let me read the top 10 for both men and women.
Mo's like, I want to be called Master Mo.
Okay. So top 10 female fantasies, okay? Number 1 is the rape fantasy. Number 2 is being a stripper. Number 3 is role reversals. Number 4 is group sex. Number 5 is with another gorgeous woman. Number 6 is exhibitionism. Number 7 is submissive mate. Number 8 is dominatrix. Number 9, a stranger in the bedroom. And number 10 is come and get me boys, which I don't really know what
Those
that
are all
means.
pretty easily acceptable.
Yeah.
None of those are that creepy.
Those aren't fetishes.
No.
These are fantasies.
Okay, yeah. So those are all something that I would be like, oh, okay, I totally get that. You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like, look, at the end of the day, those are things that you need to discuss with your partner in a comfortable environment, in a trusting environment. And I feel like where we as men fuck up, or screw up, where we mess up is that we almost like attack our women with what a fantasy we want. Like, I would like it better if we did it this way. And you almost make them feel like what they're doing right now is not adequate.
Right.
Instead of making them feel safe and being, I want to try something that's really fun. It's going to make you feel sexy. It's going to be a great time. Could we try something like this?
Yeah.
And I feel like for men especially, it's got to be in your approach, because how we think as men is just so purely sexual sometimes that it does not translate to the way a woman's brain works.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think well, the thing is that I've asked my husband a lot of the times, like, what are your fantasies? And he literally doesn't have any, which sort of like frustrates me. I know, you guys should hook up.
I could list like 5 right now.
No, but the thing is, I'm the most open person in the entire world.
Yeah.
Like, he knows I would be mad at him if he didn't have any, and he's like, I really don't have any. Because he's done a lot of the things that he's fantasized about. Maybe if I ask him about fetishes, maybe he'll have a whole list of things. I don't know. But, like, for me, when I bring up my fantasies to my husband, I don't bring it up like, I'm really bored with my sex life. I'm so miserable. You're doing it totally wrong. I want to be with other men. I do exactly what you just said. I bring it up in a way that says, I love our sex life. I'm appreciative of it. I'm turned on by you. I can't get enough. But here's something I would love to try and experiment with. And sometimes even just talking about it with him, because he's open to hearing it, that's enough for me. I don't actually have to act it out. I just like the fact that we've discussed it. And like certain things that I've talked about, like the rape fantasy is a fantasy of mine, like being thrown up against a wall. He has done his best to do that for me. It's not naturally what he likes to do or the way that he would like to be in the bedroom. He's a really big guy. His size is kind of overpowering.
I feel like the only way to really execute that properly would be if he just grew in a creepy mustache. It'd be like, okay, I totally felt like I was raped.
Yeah, exactly.
It is November coming up.
No, but I agree with you. That's the best way to bring up fantasies to your significant other. But let's talk a little bit about fetishes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of fetishes, would you ever... I don't know if you have any fetishes, but would you reveal a fetish like the one that we just listened to?
Would
you tell your significant other?
Here's a weird situation. Lately I've been having a boob fetish. Like, I am obsessed with big boobs.
That's not weird, though.
No, it's not big boobs. But, I've never been into I was always like an ass fetish, so any way an ass could move and bounce, I was all down for it, right?
I can tell because you commented on mine today.
Yeah, I commented on yours today.
Mine is looking a little bit bigger.
It is looking great. Keep growing, baby. No, but so I was like a butt guy for a long time, but lately I've been like a total boob guy, and my girl does not have the biggest boobs. So I am having issues right now.
Yeah, but can't you be a boob guy with boobs that just are proportional to her body?
And that's it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been making that work.
Just his fetish?
And you know what? It's true.
Well, are you when you say I'm a boob guy, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm a big boob guy. It just means you like boobs. Like my boyfriend likes boobs, and I have small boobs. But he likes my boobs.
Then I watched that new Robin Thicke video, the actual one. You know what I'm talking about? Blurred lines with that girl with the big boobs and those boobs. Where I just wanted an hour with those.
So I can go poink.
And I know, like, if I have, look, I know if I spend a week just like with a million boobs, I'll get over it really quick.
But it's like spending a week with really delicious, or like you're having a huge dinner. You can only have so much of it.
Yeah, and then you get sick of it.
Well, the main thing I wanted to get to from the clip that I showed you guys was about extreme fetishes and like whether or not you share that with your significant other. Like,
I think you share that with your psychiatrist.
But you think you really suppress it the entire time of your relationship?
I grew up old school. We're very traditional. Shame is very important to us. And
but I think a lot of people can tolerate it. Like, I think that if you are a couple of years into a relationship, you love a person, you might be freaked out by it. But I think that women can slowly start to justify it, and then they'll start to defend it.
Yeah.
And they'll actually be not proud of it, obviously.
And you know
but
what?
They'll be okay with it.
This can work because I used to bartend. Look, when you bartend, you meet so many people. That's why I love that job. But there was a group of doctors.
That's why I hate
and
it.
There's a group of doctors and business professionals that came in, and these guys came in one day, and they're like, we want to have our party here. We want to make sure you guys are okay with it. And he's having a conversation with the owner, and these were very much masculine men, coming and having the conversation. They come back on the night of their party. Every single one of those men are dressed up as women, to the nines, shaved legs, makeup, wigs, everything. And not only that, they're there with their wives.
Really? See, supportive.
That opened up my eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, that's a fetish for these men who are straight and normal, but they want to dress up as women. And the fact that their wives can tolerate it and accept it, that opened my eyes to that it can't be done.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it depends on if the man is just a wretched-looking woman, then I'd be like, well,
maybe I can if she's hot.
But if you could pull it off a little bit.
Then she gets to live up one of her fantasies of sex with a gorgeous woman.
Right.
There you go. So it's twofold.
Is it technically scissor fighting if he's got a piece?
It's like scissor with a growth or something.
With a growth, a little mole on it or something.
Misshaped
well, I
scissor.
think that this wraps up this week's episode, or this week's chapter in the man's playbook, because I think we decided that it is wonderful to have fantasies. It's wonderful to share fantasies. When you do share a fantasy with your significant other, you don't want to put them down for your current sex life. You want to use your fantasy to enhance your current sex life. So explain it in a warm and exciting way of how you can enhance what you're doing and what you can try out. In terms of fetishes, I think that most people are extremely tolerant, unless it's about mutilating people and killing people. I think that's a fine line. I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, I mean,
in terms
I think
of that.
some people are tolerant, except if you're just uptight like me.
Yeah,
but I'll just judge the hell out of you.
Right. I don't think that you should ever suppress anything, especially from your partner, about what you're thinking and feeling, because that can create distance between you and a huge disconnect.
The one thing I want to say to my boyfriend is my fetish is if you could get me really successful in Hollywood. Yeah. That's honestly that would just do it for me.
But maybe that'll be a motivator for him.
Right.
Wonderful. All right. Well, after the break, we have a segment of Analyze This where we have Mike and Holli from the Swing Show on Playboy Radio. And yeah, stay tuned. So I finally given in to my husband, and I am going to go get a pair of glasses because he's very worried about me when I drive at night.
Really?
Because I drive really close up to the steering wheel, and I'm staring at street signs because I can't see them until I've literally passed them.
Until you've run into other cars.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I am going to get a pair of glasses, and luckily we have one of our sponsors, AC Lens, and they have an online website where you can go on, you can look at thousands of pairs of glasses and choose from those thousands of pairs and get glasses, and they're all freaking really, really nice glasses.
Did you upload your picture?
I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. I totally
that.
forgot about that. Because I kind of know what I want already, so I knew which ones I was looking for. But they had them on there. It was amazing. And I've ordered the glasses.
Already, you hate driving anyway, so going to a glasses store sucks for you, right?
Yeah, that's why I do everything online. So it was perfect. But if I could use that service of seeing what I would look like, that would be awesome. I totally forgot about that. But I'm just going to read to you about AC Lens, because it's aclens.com. They're awesome. They take great pride in easy-to-use website, great prices, one-stop shop for all your optical needs, free shipping and fast delivery, great customer service, award-winning, in fact, actually. And they were super nice when I talked to them. Would be great if they could... they have a wide variety of eyeglasses and sunglasses, from the well-known brands like Ray-Ban and Oakley to upcoming brands like Superdry, Zubug, and Proof. A 365-day guarantee, and all purchases are secure. You can order online, or you can call 888-248-LENS. And you get 20% off all orders and free shipping on all glasses, sunglasses, and reading glasses, free returns on everything because you're listening to this podcast. So you have to go to aclens.com, click on the microphone, and enter promo code WOMEN20. That's promo code WOMEN20 to get 20% off.
I hope you guys can actually see the computer, though, because if you're not wearing your stuff from AC Lens, you're going to be like, promo code what? I can't see what I'm typing because I haven't bought anything from AC Lens yet.
Exactly.
So, yeah, make sure you do that. So, yeah, go to AC Lens and use the promo code WOMEN20. Click the microphone and enter WOMEN20. And also you get 20% off all orders and free shipping on glasses, sunglasses, and reading glasses, so you can actually see the glasses that you'll be wearing.
And it's free returns
on everything. So do that, yo. Go to aclens.com.
Offer may not be combined with any other coupons, sales, or special offers at AC Lens.
Hey everyone, this is Brandy Glanville, and I have a brand new podcast. It's called Brandy Glanville Unfiltered, and you can download it on podcastone.com. Every week, I get to say what I want to say, do what I want to do, and no one gets to tell me not to curse. We have some amazing guests. Some of my celebrity friends that refuse to be on Housewives are actually going to come and be on my podcast. Brandy Glanville Unfiltered, Podcast One. It's going to be like crazy.
Okay, so my computer sucks. It's only about 2 years old, but it is like ready to go in the trash. Last night, I was working on a document that I've been working on for a very, very, very freaking long time. And suddenly my computer crashes and I lose all the work that I had been doing for the past 2 hours.
Traumatizing.
Horrible. And I'm so dumb because usually like I save but this time I didn't for some reason because I was just in a flow. And you know when that happens, you're in such a flow you don't want to save anything. So my computer shuts down and I lost all of the work, which is insane.
Hopefully you have anxiety medication to take when that happens.
Oh, I literally went to bed afterwards and I cried for about 3 hours. But this will never happen again because one of our sponsors, which is called Carbonite, they actually have a full backup system for your computer. And it's absolutely amazing. Like while you're doing your work, it's constantly backing up and creating.
Yeah, so you should have had it. Why?
I know.
What are you doing?
Because honestly, I'm going to set it up today, but I hadn't set it up yet.
Well, the thing is, it's really super easy to set up. Basically, because when I first heard of it, I was thinking, well, do I have to, take every single item from my computer and put it in this system that I want to save? But you don't. You just download the program and it just constantly checks your computer for new things and it pulls everything off of your computer on its own. I mean, if you do it, it might take a little while, just for the actual process to happen. I don't know.
Yeah. So it says even with Carbonite, you can access backed up files instantly on any computer or on your smartphone or tablet with a free Carbonite app. It basically backs it up to a cloud-like space, and you have all of those files there. It's not a storing system, so if I create a file right now and I delete it in 3 months, it's not going to be there, but it's a backup system for what you are currently working on and what is on your computer right now, which is absolutely amazing. Right. And people who listen to this show...
I wonder how many suicides would have been prevented because of Carbonite.
100%.
No, I'm telling you.
100%.
It's that traumatizing. We live in that kind of world where you need your stuff. If you don't have your stuff, it's I wish they had a Carbonite for my keys that I've lost 30 times, and I'm please help me, someone. So,
no, but I wish I had it in college because I lost a lot of papers when I was younger in college. But so if you listen to our podcast, you can start your free trial today at Carbonite.com. No credit card required. It's completely free. A free trial.
Use offer code WOMEN
and get 2 free bonus months if you decide to buy.
Carbonite.com, offer code WOMEN.
You're listening to the Ask Women podcast, a Podcast One presentation.
I could slap your face raw.
Welcome back to the Ask Women podcast, where you get all of the information straight from the source, from women and from Amo. From Amo, who just had a suction dildo suctioned to his head, and it stuck.
Yeah. And he's never looked more intelligent.
You did. You look like a magical, wonderful unicorn.
I look like a dickhead.
You look like a dickhead, exactly. It was wonderful.
You already look like one without. And I'm not saying it because you're mean. It's just because you're bald and etc.
You look like a penis. That's what she's saying to you. So we have 2 amazing guests in house right now, or in the studio? In house.
Yeah, we're in a house.
Who am I? In studio with us, we have Mike and Holly from The Swing Show. It's The Swing Show or Swing?
Swing with Michael and Holly. Yeah.
Okay, so you say it much better than I do. On Playboy Radio.
PlayboyRadio.com.
PlayboyRadio.com.
And then you are right, though. Swing is in its 3rd season. Well, hopefully getting greenlit for a 4th season on Playboy TV. It's a reality show called Swing. And then Holly and I host Nightcap Live, which is... a recap show, a wrap-up show about Swing, where we bring in the newbies after, it's been a couple months. Oh, thank you.
It's kind of like the what is it? Walking Dead. It's called
Living Dead.
Oh, I love
that.
Except
we're not zombies.
I was going to say, that's a really weird swing.
That's an even better version of Walking Dead. Yeah. Sexy zombies.
Right.
There you go.
Zombies do it. You know it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I was telling Kristen and Mo about my experience on your show, and I had a blast. It was awesome. But I was telling them about what the show is about, and they just have tons of questions, obviously, because the swinging lifestyle is a new world for all of us.
They look like vultures. I'm like,
we have questions.
Stop staring at me.
I'm the most scared vulture in the world.
You're both
I can't.
really good-looking people, and you have these questions.
Yeah.
So before we do that, why don't we explain something really fast? Is that all right with you, Marni?
Of course, please.
So, back in the days, people called it swingers, and if you ask people now, what is your, what do you perceive when you say swingers? And a lot of times we hear the same thing. Key club parties, where you used to go to the parties, the guys put their keys in a bowl, you ladies would draw them out, and this would be a great group of ladies to do that with, just for the record.
Right. Yeah, for
and for us. And whosever keys you pulled, that's who you were going to play with. And
does play with mean have sex with?
Yes.
Usually, yes.
Back in the day, it was.
It was really all about full swap.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other thing we hear is, old, unattractive, and
that's
overweight.
What we said.
Right. Now, though, it then started to move towards the term lifestyle. So, hey, we're living in the lifestyle. What does that mean? Well, it means we can do this, this, and this. Holli and I have worked really hard to go. Nobody likes to be labeled.
Right.
Recent research we commissioned from a university back east showed us that 15 million people in America are okay if you call them swingers. 62 million people in America live sexy. And what does that mean?
Oh, I love that.
That means you remember that it's an attitude, not an action. Whereas Pocket said, we call her Pockets, it's her nickname.
That's me.
Whereas Pocket said, in the old day, it was all about swapping. Full swap, which means anything goes within your rules and boundaries, including sex. Soft swap is anything non-monogamous, up to and including foreplay, not penetration, though, vaginal penetration.
I literally feel like I'm listening to a physics class because this is I do not understand this world. Yeah, I know, but I'm already lost.
Okay.
So
well, there's two more.
Oh God! I'm failing. I'm going to get a
notes. You're writing notes.
Exhibitionists, which everyone knows you like to perform in front of people.
Right.
Which I think you might enjoy being an actress, right? Or you want to be famous in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true, but I want to be famous in Hollywood for being alone and quiet all the time.
Gotcha.
That's weird.
And
then there, what else is it? Voyeur, people who live to watch.
Right.
And
I'm a voyeur.
I would be a voyeur for myself.
I'm voyeur and exhibitionist most.
Really?
Yeah, and soft swap.
I'm becoming and soft swap, but I'm becoming more of a voyeur because people fascinate me.
Me too.
Because I'm watching them, I'm like, I've never done that before.
Yeah, we'll be in the middle of doing something. She's like, hold on, baby.
Wait, hold on. I'm not paying attention to you.
I'm a people watcher.
Right.
So,
And then you've got vanilla, which usually means you like it one way, the same way all the time. However, you have
I thought that sounded a little racial.
It does sometimes.
It does.
I know.
We didn't coin the term. It's just
and we have friends that like to be dirty vanilla or a little chocolate swirl.
Okay, there
you go.
Wow.
When you look at all that, the living sexy also means it's an attitude, right? Not an action. No longer do you have to just play with people to be part of this community. Just be willing to hang out with us. Just be willing to, because no one's going to jump you. No one's going to attack you. You guys come to a party. Let's say we go to get drinks. You two ladies are alone, and your husband's with us, right? And you three ladies are alone. No guy's going to come up and attack you. No guy's going to come up.
Even Mo?
No. Well, maybe Mo.
Yeah, maybe me.
Well enough yet.
But he means attack. No one's going to inappropriately touch you without asking, and no one's going to. I mean, they might flirt with you, but they're not going to.
As a couple.
Yeah, as a couple.
Yeah, because it almost seems like if you're in this lifestyle, just from an outsider's perspective, it would be like, anything goes. Because I said I'm interested in this, anyone can just do anything, and that's what freaks me out about it.
Yeah, no carte blanche.
Right.
But it sounds very respectful.
It's not
extremely respectful.
Yeah.
And what you and Holli, what the three of you might do, does not mean you're going to do with others. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's say the three of us are with these three ladies here, and we go to a party, and the three of you decide to play as bisexual ladies.
She's got a big grin.
What you do, I know.
I'm super awkward.
Ready to jump.
No, I'm so awkward.
What you guys do does not give carte blanche to anybody else. They have to ask permission, and odds are you'll say no. You're like, you know what? We're enjoying ourselves, and most people won't even bother to ask because they're going to enjoy watching. And then when you're done, maybe they'll be like, hey, you want to play again later?
It's like going to a Ponderosa buffet, and you're not going to take everything off the buffet, but you could if you wanted to.
There you go.
Okay.
We say that.
Now I understand.
Do you have to do you have to do it in front of everybody, or are there private rooms that you can bring people into?
There's private rooms that you can go into. Normally, people don't shut the doors because it's just kind of disrespectful to shut the door and push everyone out,
especially at a public event.
However, some parties have things on the door that they say, okay, it's a private room.
What's the cleaning service like after one of these parties?
There are people, depending on where you go, whether you go to a club, whether you go to like Hedonism in Jamaica, Desires down in Cancun, what's it over in Palm Springs, you guys?
Sea Mountain.
Sea Mountain, thank you. Sea Mountain in Palm Springs. There are a lot of people who hire a crew to come in and literally change the sheets after couples leave, and then and then they change the sheets again. Oh yeah. And
there's towels. Oh,
it's either the best or worst job in America,
right?
Yeah,
there's towels that you lay down when you're going to play, and so you just take the towel and throw it in the basket after you're done. There's condoms. There's
lube.
There's lube everywhere.
And remember though, there's no rule that you have to play.
Right.
This is if you want to play. And there's house parties, there's weekend events, there's clubs, there are whole week cruises, 6,000 people on a couple's cruise. Not all of them are going to be swapping. A majority of them just want to be around people that have an open mind. Some like to be, not all nudists are living sexy, and not all people who live sexy want to be nude. It's just a place you can go. No one's going to tell you to put your clothes back on, and no one's going to ask you to take your clothes off.
Right. It's just a free space.
Free spirit.
It's really interesting, and maybe this isn't exactly related, but when I first started dating my husband, I was extremely open with touching and flirting. Like, literally, I would go to a convenience store. I would flirt with the person behind the cash register. That was my thing to do. I loved it.
Free candy bar.
I loved
That's
exactly.
7-Eleven employee.
But I love it. I love flirting. And for my husband, it was very uncomfortable for him at first that I was so open because he wasn't yet as open as I was. So it made him very uncomfortable, jealous, and defensive about it, where we got into a lot of arguments about it. And it really had an effect on our relationship because he was telling me not to be me, and I was also telling him not to be him. Right. So as we started to communicate and get to know each other more, he started to understand that this was the way that I wanted to live my life, being open to people. And he started to jump on board more. So now he is more open. So I feel like these parties or these events are just like open spaces for people who are fun, who are okay with flirting. There's no limitations. There's no boundaries. There really are no rules, but you don't have to participate in the extreme.
And there's no expectations either.
Exactly.
Other than
it
have
sounds
fun.
awesome.
The only thing we ask you to expect is to have fun, because if you're not having fun, why the hell are you going along?
Right. Those are some weird fetishes. We're just like angry at people having sex. That would be mine.
Walk into the room.
I'd be like, I hate all of you, but keep going.
But keep going.
Now, let me ask you, what about single guys? Do they show up to these events, or are they allowed, or do they got to bring a girl with them in order to get in?
Yes to all.
Yeah.
Yes to all.
I mean, most of the time, men bring a date. Even if they're not together, they can come together and separate.
It's discouraged only because they want to make sure that you understand the rules and boundaries. You're not predators. She's not a predator. Go ahead, baby.
But there are single men that go to these, and it's about the respect. Like, you have to gain the respect of the community to be invited back and to actually be invited in the first place. So being invited in the first place and playing with respect to the couples and the women and whatever, and then you get asked back and you get asked back. There's
a great book called Swingland. It was published by Simon & Schuster. Right. Daniel Stern, great guy. We had him on the show the day on PlayboyRadio.com. The day the book was published, October 1st. And what he shares is, you look at Brad Pitt and Steve Carell. If Brad Pitt were an asshole and walked into one of these parties, he might get some play. But that's it, very little. Steve Carell, cute guy, great personality, very respectful. He'd get asked back and asked back and asked back. And Dan will tell you, he's like, I'm an average-looking guy, but I play a lot. I get invited to gangbangs. I get invited to be threesomes with 2 women and just me. These things. He's fun and he's open-minded. And bottom line is what Pocket said. He's respectful, realizing you and I go on a date, we're dating one-on-one. If the 3 of us or 4 of us went on a date, now it's 4 personalities or 3 personalities.
Trying to mesh.
And I may never, let's say I was a single guy and you guys were a couple. I would never. Okay. So let's go back then to Marni and her husband. I'm straight. I'm not going to have sex with your husband ever. However, he's going to be in the room if he doesn't want to play.
Right.
And so he has to be okay with me. Odds are he may, quote unquote, interview me.
Really?
And Daniel talks about all this stuff. He gets really
very
in-depth.
Gentleman-like.
Yes, very gentleman-like. Would you like a cow for your wife? No. I have to trade you 3 sheep and a cow.
No, but that's interesting. Does that happen
a lot?
Often? Okay.
There's a lot of men who enjoy watching their woman be pleasured by someone else.
What about the gay factor? Do men come and then go with other men?
There's normally a party for that. Like there's
it's like
there's
By the Way.
a
genre.
website. Yeah, it's called By the Way. But normally they're not sectioned off, but they have their own.
They should call
Are
it
they
But
like
the
the
Way.
kids' table?
Right.
We're gonna put them
Yeah.
it's a
Adult
kids' table.
Well, so what if somebody wants to ease into this world? Because I've had actually people write into me
Right.
and say, this is the lifestyle that I like to live, but I'm in a new city. I have no idea where to meet other individuals like this. Like, how do they find a community like this?
Well, websites are the number
Legitimate
one.
websites.
Right.
Which ones?
Well, okay, so let me say the ones that aren't, and then you want to go with the ones that aren't.
Craigslist.
Well, okay, a list that's got a man's name on the front of it. No. If you can find adult friends on there, we don't recommend that.
Okay.
There's one like that, and I just want to protect you, so I'm
Right.
not saying
No, I
my name.
appreciate it.
Now the ones
Dollar
that
Saver.
Yeah, Dollar Saver. The ones we do recommend, and even with parties, go back to what you said, Mo, about parties. If a party's being advertised on that list with the guy's name, Mo's list, right?
Right. Yeah.
They're like $100 for single guys. You don't want to go to that party because they're going to let an uneven amount of men in, and it's just not fun. You go to these websites, and we like to say them alphabetical because we're not playing favorites, and these are extremely wonderful, legitimate sites. You can go on for free, check out who's in your area, and find out events in your area, and it's a great way to start. Do you want to?
I don't know the alphabet, but there's Cassidy.com. There's KASIDIE, SLS, SDC.
You went off on
So yeah, that's why I don't do this.
SDC.com.
Lifestyle Lounge, Love
Yeah.
Voodoo. There's huge websites. And if you just go to their websites, it shows parties on the side, and you don't have to join them, but you can see the parties for free. And
Really?
And why do you like the site so much? You always tell people we coach.
The sites have profile builders, and there's one for women and one for men, and it has a drop-down box usually, and it explains. I'd like to encourage people to do this together. You sit down together, and it drops in a box, and it says, "Okay, do you like anal? Do you like spanking? Do you like?" And
What are your fetishes? What are your kinks?
Yeah, you go individually down these lines, and each one of you do this, and it kind of like brings you together because you may have not ever asked that question before, and you're like, oh,
You
I
learn a
didn't know
lot about
you-
your partner.
Right.
You
Yeah,
learn
for
a lot
sure.
about your
And plus,
partner.
it's sexy to do together, and it may create something that
Could be fun.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so what about if one person is into this lifestyle in a couple and one person isn't? What is the best way to sort of show this person
Stay
the
out.
world?
Stay out.
Really?
100%. We say, go only as fast as the slowest person. Nobody should be entering. If you have cracks in your relationship, this will destroy you. It is the greatest world and community to be part of, living sexy, because you do have the opportunity, like you said, you and your husband at first were one way, then you communicated, which is the easiest word to say and truly the toughest thing to do. Clinically speaking, it's the toughest thing to do. We talk about TTLC. Trust each other enough to talk to each other openly, listen to each other, and then you'll be communicating with each other when you do that. So if one of you is not into this,
You can't
stay
force
away.
the other.
You can't force. Talk about it. Like you were saying earlier, share your fantasies. Okay? However, respect your partner that they may not be ready. And if it's a need, I believe needs are non-negotiable. I believe wants are negotiable. If it's something you need, Mo, you got to get rid of that girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a good match.
If it's a want, then negotiate about it. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
Like she can't get a boob job.
There you go.
If you pay for it.
You know, I don't know. I'm not big on the fake boobs.
I am.
Really?
Well, it depends. I've had my fair share of fake boobs.
Yeah.
Some of them have been fantastic. Some of them have not been fantastic.
I call it reality on radio. This water tastes very interesting,
Isn't
by the
it?
way.
It's
Yeah.
cucumber ginger.
Cucumber ginger.
I think it's amazing.
I know, it's really interesting. It's good. I'm sorry.
They should have it at their
Enhances
parties.
the
You know, I'm such a hypocrite. I'm such a dude because I feel like some guys are like, I should be able to have sex with other women because I'm a guy and it's non-emotional. It's just purely.
It's actually built into your DNA.
Yeah, it's built into my DNA. But then for my woman to have sex with another guy, that would shatter me. And it's because there's, I know her especially, there has to be some kind of emotional connection for her to open up that way.
But I think more and more women are coming out that this is just sexual for them. It's not
Physical.
emotional anymore, because back in the day, I think it was more like, oh, we have to love this person. And guys are just doing it everywhere. They have to spread their seed.
Right.
But now women are finding themselves and they're like, wow, this is incredible. I can do what men do. This is awesome.
And just have sex for fun.
Well, yeah, and I think it's like the caveman thing where guys have to this is my cave. Like you say that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't mind. We're full swap situational, which means if she wanted to be with another man and or if I wanted to be with another woman, we would talk about it ahead of time, and then it would be something we would do.
But it's still your cave. You have to
you
say
you vet the guy, right?
Well, of course I would vet the guy.
You pull the club out before you have a conversation with him.
Even with the women, I vet the women. If I don't find the woman, It's a physical act. If I don't get along with a woman, though, or I don't get along with the guy she's there with, there's no way Pockets is playing because, again, I don't want to be bored or I don't want to worry, is this guy going to jump in or do something inappropriate or is that woman? You played, a gorgeous woman, a very good friend of ours. You guys played finally, and what happened?
I don't know who you're talking about. There's so many.
The biting?
Oh my God, she was amazing. And then we start making love, and she just starts biting me everywhere. And apparently she was into this, and she didn't ask me.
She didn't tell her.
Right.
So I have bite marks, and I'm bleeding on my boobs.
So what did you do?
I had to.
You hit a bitch.
I'm literally crying my eyes out. I'm like,
oh my God!
I couldn't tell Marni if she was in pain or in pleasure. And then when she gave me that look. And we have a safe word. We believe in safe words.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm really thirsty. And so I had
take a break and get something to drink.
Her guy was there, too. So I kind of got him away from her, not from Holly, but from her. And then we'll call her KR. I pulled KR off of Pockets pleasantly, gently.
Pried her mouth open.
Yeah, exactly.
Crowbars.
Some pitbull.
When you go back, though, if you're not both into it, keep talking, keep sharing, keep asking. Do these websites. You can listen to us on playboyradio.com, listen to you guys. You have great information. And one of the best ways to bring the topic up is to put it off on someone else. Hey, I was listening to Ask Women podcast, and they talked about this. What do you think?
Right.
You know?
Let me ask you about bodies, because you both have amazing bods. We got Mr. Muscle and Miss Model. Do you guys ever get grossed out? Because no one's matching your bodies. You don't walk into a room and then there's a million bodies like yours. Do you guys ever get grossed out? Ooh, look at this body. Or do we want to, are you ever grossed out?
Occasionally, but I find I'm a boob woman. I love big boobs.
Yeah.
And the booty, not so much, but I love big boobs. So it depends. And if I start talking to that woman and she's just a complete, just rank person, I'm not going to find her attractive at all. But if she's got the best personality, and regardless if she's big or small, I'm going to like to play with her because it's the more personality.
All right, so now I'll get deeper with you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for being honest.
No, and Pockets is being honest. Yes, there are times.
Well, yeah, she is too. But I get so grossed out by human beings. That's why I couldn't do this, because people just disgust me. I'm like, oh.
Here's what is interesting is parties we would take you to. You would see everyone that you see in this room right here.
It's all vetted hot people.
Let's go.
Right.
First case study.
Likes tend to attract likes.
Right.
And there are parties that, when they screen, they're screening first for personality, second for appearance. And do I think it's right? It's not my business. Am I glad I'm invited? Absolutely. Would I be upset if I was rejected? No. I'd be like, fuck you, I'll go to the next one. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I'll go to the next one. So it depends on where you go. There's certain clubs, people say, what do you think of this club in Vegas? Or what do you think of this club in Tampa? Or what do you think of this club in Orange County? It just depends.
Yeah, and we know the clubs that have whoever comes, and then we know the clubs
literally
and parties that everyone's just massively beautiful and dressed to the nines, and it's so much fun. And those are the parties I like the most because I know I'm going to get something I like.
We'll never tell you the who. I think we shared this with you. We'll tell you the what was at the party, never the who. So there are A-list celebrities. There are news.
Oh, no, you can't do that to me and not say who.
Current and retired athletes.
Steve Carell,
obviously. Because, unfortunately, there's still so much judgment in society.
Yeah.
Okay, my ex.
Me included.
Yeah, we had to fight a 6-figure battle against my ex. If I was gay, an adulterer, or a convicted criminal, she could not have sued me for custody when we split. Because Holly and I are out. She was able to, the court threw the case out, however, after all those legal fees, those 6 figures in legal fees, because we're swingers.
Wow.
What?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's still...
People lose their jobs every day because they find them... the principal,
I guess that makes sense. It makes people uncomfortable. I get it.
Right. And you don't want to tell it's our sexual preference, and we're not going out. We are.
Yeah, we do.
But we're out there. But
we're not converting.
Lawyers and things like that don't want to go out there and be like, hey, this is what I do.
Right, this is what I endorse.
People are so judgmental.
Yeah.
So now don't you want to go to a party?
I kind of, yes. I would be super
We're
curious.
We're going to come to one.
You should come
My
to
only experience, this is pathetic, my only
up.
experience with singing a swinger party is from the movie Bruno. I don't know if you guys are familiar. And I was like, oh my God.
I don't want to go to that one.
I would be Bruno. I would just jump out the window.
Did you guys see Eyes Wide Shut?
No,
yes.
I never saw that.
See,
no, but I would love to see
that's
that.
what it's like. Ooh, let's go.
Now,
I don't feel like I'm hot enough to go to these events.
Oh, by far you are.
Oh, my
You're
God.
Beautiful.
They want me, guys. They want me.
Yeah, we do.
Totally.
My movie would be Legs Wide Shut.
Legs Wide Shut.
Do you ever get your feelings hurt?
No,
Both of you have.
no, I don't, because I know that some women may. It's that
might
time
not
of the
be
month. They
bisexual.
might not be bisexual. They may not be into me, and I totally. And it's okay to ask, and I usually ask him to ask because I'm too shy to ask. But if he gets turned down, I'm okay with it. So I never get my feelings hurt.
When I was a single guy, there were times women would say no, and it was because they didn't play with men, or I was too buff. They liked a leaner body,
right?
Or her husband likes. Yeah. There are different reasons, and what you have to remember is
I hate steak.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? Why?
Well, is they're not rejecting me because it's not we're not looking for an emotional attachment. It's a physical and only physical. We're not making breakfast in the morning. I'm not spending the night. If we're all playing, it's physical, and there's nothing wrong. People say, "How dare you have sex for recreation?" Truth is, if you're Bible thumping or not, anytime you have sex without the intention of having a baby, it's recreation,
right?
So it's realizing what you've said, and you guys all said before we came on, that it's a physical act. You guys said it earlier.
It's
emotions,
like
emotions don't have to get involved. And yes, is it weird seeing my woman with another woman, or if she wanted to be with another man? For that split second, jealousy is extremely normal. However, I realize different isn't better. Different is good.
Okay.
A lot of times we think different means it's better. It's not.
That
would
be the difficult part for me. I think I could go out there and have lots of fun, but is when I would see my partner, that would be really difficult for me. I think maybe it wouldn't be.
I don't think it would be difficult for me, because I've said this before where like it would, but it wouldn't.
Right.
I don't know at the same time. But like whenever I see like a woman with like a great rack or like a great body, I'm always like to my boyfriend, like I'll be like, oh my God, look.
I love that.
And like we kind of like
the difference
share
between
in
him looking at them than him going up to her, grabbing her boobs, like motorboating her, and then taking her to a bedroom.
I almost feel like I'd be like, go.
No, you wouldn't. Would you? Then we should go to this party. Maybe we should. I want to see how I would handle it. To be honest, I want that challenge for myself.
As long as you agree with your partner before going, that you won't do anything you haven't what-ifed, communicated about. We talk. Well, what should we talk about? Everything. The worst thing that scares us when we do our Playboy TV show Swing is when couples come up there and everyone.
We're down for whatever.
Yeah, we'll go along with the flow.
Right.
No, you won't go with the flow.
Yeah.
You haven't what-ifed this.
Right.
The last thing we want, they say, what happens in the swing house stays in the swing house. True bullshit.
But you go home with these people, and
Right.
you just see your partners, and you can't just be like, well, I didn't like you doing that. Well, we didn't discuss it. You said everything goes.
And they're really great. Jessica O'Reilly, the host, Dr. Jessica O'Reilly, and even the producers behind the scenes. There's no drama. They turn the cameras off immediately. If there's drama, the cameras are off because that's not what they're looking for. And they pull them aside and they're like, you guys really need to talk about this. We need to stop filming right now because this show is not about, let's have a free-for-all. It's really, you got to communicate because it'll strengthen any relationship and take you to levels you never understood. Like you said with your husband, Marni's, maybe I want to see him. Maybe that would be good. Maybe I'd get even more turned on. And everyone reports the same thing. Whether you're watching others or being watched by others or playing with others, they go home, they're with the one they love, and they have sex that they've never dreamed possible because you're just aroused by many different things. The brain's the largest sexual organ.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I'm not very sexual. I have like a very small brain.
It's funny. I heard this one interview with this, I think she was like 85 years old or something, but she was very old, but she was a sex therapist. And she would talk about going out and flirting. And she's like, I go out and I flirt all the time. I have so much fun. And then I go home and I fuck my husband. And I thought that was like one of the best statements that I'd ever heard. Because she just goes out to have fun, to be playful with people and like put her sexuality out there, not teasing people, but she's having fun. And then she gets so riled up and she goes home and she has sex with her husband. Yeah. And it helps their marriage. I don't think she was 85, maybe like 75 or something. But still, I thought it was really amazing.
I do have a question about, okay, so there's, the thing called gaydar.
Right.
Do you guys have like swingdar? Like,
I do.
You do?
Yes, I do. We had a couple friend, and I'm like, honey, when we first met him, it wasn't the way he hugged me or the way he looked, because he wasn't creepy at all, but I'm like, honey, they are swingers. And he's like, no. I mean, they've got kids, they've got lives, they've got...
Which a lot of swingers do have kids and
most
lives.
of them
I'm just
do.
Right.
But I'm just like, they are swingers. He's like, no, I think these friends are. And I'm like, no.
And I should have picked up on all the clues.
I don't know. The couple that you said weren't, they love Playboy TV.
Yeah. Now, the couple I thought they aren't. However, they watch our show and listen to our show all the time.
Oh, total voyeurs.
So, yeah. So they are voyeurs, yeah.
What do you think is what gives you that clue?
I don't know. know. Probably just the people that I see at the parties, and I'm like, okay, the way they act, the way they talk.
Attitude.
Yeah.
There are certain words too.
They're very, very open,
Really?
and they're not like, oh, okay, hi, how you doing? They're like, hey, how you doing? And not inappropriately. It's just, I don't know.
It's just open. It's just more open.
More open.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
And there's certain words. When I had somebody who worked for me, my background's in medicine, and I had somebody who worked for me use the word lifestyle. Forgot what it was. It fit in the conversation. However, an average person, not living sexy, lifestyle swinger, would never have used that word. Right. And it was right then. I called up Pockets. I'm like, oh my God.
He's a fake. He's a phony.
My guy is in the lifestyle. And sure enough, after he left the job, calls me up. He goes, love your show.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was an avid listener back when we were on Sirius XM.
love that.
Now it's PlayboyRadio.com. Back then it was Sirius XM. And I'm like, dude, you should have just told me. You know?
I feel like that would have broken rules, though, if he told you. Wouldn't it?
No.
Was he a doctor? He was your doctor?
No, he wasn't my doctor.
Oh, he wasn't your doctor. Okay, then that's different.
Do you guys ever eat at the diner swingers? That's as close as I get. It's still good food. Yeah, it's really good
Santa
food.
Monica.
Let me ask you something. Have you found, because the internet now has exposed people to sex at such a young age now, and it's no longer that kind of Disney mentality of princesses and fairy tale and all that stuff taking over.
Now it's sex zombies.
And now it's like, no, I'm just saying, like, kid, like, I think I caught my, like, 5-year-old cousin watching porn.
No.
You know, I'm being dead serious. So because of that, do you find at these swinger parties that it's a younger crowd now that are, like, just 18 showing up?
As long as you don't call it swinger. That goes back
okay, at these lifestyle parties.
No, not you. So the answer to your question is no, not at anything that would call himself a swinger party. Yes, when it's a VIP or a living sexy event.
Right.
The event we're doing in D.C. for New Year's Eve. Last year they sold out after announcing we were coming, which was very humbling. This year, same thing, because people understand we say what we mean what we say. And so you have a young crowd coming, you have a middle-aged crowd coming, and even an older crowd coming, understanding that everyone's safe. Everyone's going to be dressed up. It's a great Gatsby theme, for example.
Oh, how fun.
And, it's...
You're ready to go.
It's just fun. And so the younger crowd does. You know, why go to AV or one of these other clubs where maybe, you have to stand in line, you got to buy a bottle to get a table, and maybe you'll talk to people.
Be groping you and inappropriately grabbing and touching. And these parties are not like that. Complete opposite.
Gorgeous people, sexy people, young people, big on college campuses, too.
How much?
You'll find the nicest people there.
Are pills being thrown on, like Viagra and stuff? Is that like, hey, would you guys like a side of fries or pills or something?
Did you take ecstasy instead of Viagra?
Don't see a lot of ecstasy. You do see some of the performance enhancing. You know, the Viagras, the PD5 inhibitors. However, we're big advocates. Only do it if your doctor says. I know it sounds cheesy. But
I've known some women that don't like it. I'm like, what are you talking about? If it helps out, why are you complaining?
It's like
I
lube.
can't believe it.
I love lube.
But they get offended that these men are using it. I'm like, who cares?
Is anyone just like not in the mood? Like, ugh, I have a headache. Like, get away
then
from
they
me.
let their husband or wife go do something.
Okay,
we know a couple here. Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
We know a couple where
this is so fascinating.
He loves to cuddle.
We're not going to analyze this at all. But
he loves to cuddle, and she hates cuddling. So their rule is they full swap.
I hate cuddling.
However,
hate it.
She won't swap and have sex with a man that wants to cuddle, and he will only have sex with women that will cuddle with him.
Oh, amazing.
We know women and men that have rules. I call it the pretty woman rule.
No kissing.
No
You
kissing.
can't kiss them. Or you can't kiss them passionately.
What the hell does that mean?
What do you mean passionately?
No, but it's interesting. They've obviously defined it.
Robotically.
But you're talking about communication. That is fantastic. I think that a lot of people who go to these events are just so advanced. Like, I can't even imagine how they deal with other things in their lives. They must have, like, wonderful marriages. Because they're so
sometimes
open
they
with
do,
each
sometimes they don't.
Really?
Then you have money, and I always say people don't break up over cash. People break up over how people spend the cash.
Yes.
Because they haven't communicated about it. I'm a shopper. Pa gets mad at me. She's like, stop. I don't shop for myself. I shop for her and her kids.
I'm a saver.
And, yeah, she's a saver. So it's not the cash that would ever cause a problem. It's Michael was stupid and went out and bought Pockets 3 more outfits or 2 purses or something because I like that stuff. And
no, I'm fine with that.
Is that why he calls you Pocket? Is it Pockets? Because you like hold on to like cash?
No,
my daughter, when my daughter first met her, she was blonde. And her favorite doll was Polly Pockets. So she said Holly rhymes with Polly.
That.
Now we kind of tease. We tell the real truth, then we say, and because she has a hot pocket.
Yeah, sorry. I like it. I want to get to analyze this. I would love to talk about this for like 5 more hours because I think it's so fascinating. And so thank you for being so open about this. I love it. But people can
It'd be really weird if you guys were like super open sexually but wouldn't talk about this at all. You're open there. Like you can be.
Like, we don't feel comfortable sharing that information.
Yeah, like what? You just shared your whole body.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Thousands of people. Yeah. Okay, so analyze this. This is how it works. People write us in questions. We break down and analyze the situation for them or answer their questions for them. So anybody who wants to write in questions, write into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. And here is our first question. Dear Ask Women Podcast, I'm a happily married man with a mostly sexually compatible wife. The Venn diagram has a lot of overlap and the sex is good. I don't know what that means. My wife is very into the idea of me bringing girls home. We've done it a couple of times together, but she encourages me to get girls on my own. It's not easy. It wasn't easy when I was single either. I had no game. Women are turned off by me being married. No, my wife sent me out to find you, baby. And I am a terrible liar. Do I give up on the lone quest? Any suggestions for altering my style? Craig in California.
Craig, I would say, unfortunately, I would
go right to the websites, Craig,
really?
Because you guys are what I would call living sexy. Obviously, you're having threesomes. People who have threesomes not necessarily are, let's use the term swingers, and not all swingers have threesomes, again, because we said you could be a voyeur, exhibitionist, soft swap, full swap. Go to these websites. On the websites, you will have what we call unicorns. Single women. Back in the day, they were mythical creatures. Were there really single women that wanted to just have casual sex?
Right.
I believe women have evolved. In the 70s, 80s, 90s was a sexual revolution. Now we're in the sexual evolution where women realize it feels good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I can really do this. Go to those websites, KASIDIE, which is Cassidy.com, LifestyleLounge.com, SDC.com, SLS.com, so many of them. And there you can find single women or married couples where the woman is allowed to play.
It makes it easy because there's pictures and you can talk to these people beforehand and see what they're into. So
and they know you really are a couple.
Right.
But that sounds like a safe place to go. So you're not just like going around Whole Foods, like figuring out who's open to a threesome.
A sign at the airport.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's true. That would be a hard thing.
And I recommend for this guy to get his woman involved in this process.
Yes. I think so
as
well.
That's such a woman thing to do, to be like, oh, go do it on your own, and then I bring it home. I don't like
her.
Get another
Bad
one.
choice.
And the website makes it easier. If she doesn't want to leave home, they're building that profile together.
But I agree with Mo because she's involved too. He's not just bringing her home for him. It's both of them involved. So I totally
Can
agree.
you imagine going out for like 5 weekends in a row, finally finds a girl, and she's like, no, that's not going to work.
You know what she said? Go
Send
hire
her back.
Marni.
Yeah, exactly.
Girl.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Seriously, Craig. All right, Craig, I hope that answers your question. Here's one that isn't in the sexual realm. I just read your book, Get Inside Her. Sorry, that was for my book. One thing you didn't mention in your book or in your blogs was meeting women at work. I know some people frown on doing that, but it's worked for many people. Any do's or don'ts on that subject? Rich. For meeting women at work and dating women at work. Do you think that it's okay?
Well, I thought this was a really interesting question, so I did some homework on it, and there have been tests to show it. So Vault.com, over the last 7 years, did a test that showed that 59% of people have dated someone from work. And of those 59%, 30% of them ended up getting married.
Really?
So it does exist out there, but here's where you got to be careful. Of the 30% that got married, the 70% that didn't, some people probably got fired because – from what I understand, at a lot of work situations, I've dated multiple girls at work before, and it creates problems.
Stress. Oh, yeah.
So, especially if everyone's working together, you got to be very careful. Only go after a girl that you really, really like.
Would you also agree, Mo, that it's got to be, and understand I'm using this term lightly, on the same level? If there's different tiers at your work, you cannot date below because then you're in a supervisory position and you can be accused of sexual harassment. If you date above, that person needs to fear the same thing. So if you're both in a middle management position, level B, that's where you stay. You only people on your level because then you less risk of the sexual harassment.
Right. Don't sleep with the cleaning lady.
Exactly. Plus, if you're married to these people, you have to see them every day, and just keep that in mind.
I see you every day.
No, I'm not saying it's bad for us. But just remember, if you have a fight at home and you're married and you go to work the next day, you're still going to have
I've always wondered that, how people can do that. I mean, my boyfriend and I, like, we're fine, but, like, if we worked together, we would literally, neither of us would have heads left. We would be chopping them off every single day.
And look, if you're in a different department, then go for it. Right. Or a different floor, go for it.
But you have to remember about referrals.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a bad referral and they tell, you're going to be like, oh, God.
But if you have a good referral, they'll be coming.
Well, I think the thing to remember as well is about it's like how you will handle the situation if things don't work out. If you're somebody who can't handle seeing her flirt with another guy, or can't handle being rejected, or can't handle being broken up with, then this is a situation for you not to get into.
And
but
what
if
if she can't handle it, Marni?
Right, exactly. Both people have to discuss that option. So,
especially if she's higher up too than the man, that could cause some
or even if she's lower.
Issues.
You know,
I do like when you go lower. Sorry,
Barack Obama met Michelle Obama at a law firm, and she was his supervisor.
Really? Did not.
I would be willing to bet she still is.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
exactly. She's the boss for sure.
Happy life.
Exactly. Okay, so Rich, I hope that answered your question. Okay, dear ladies and Mo and guests, thank you for the obviously. I don't ever pre-read these before. I'm horrible. Okay, lots of work you put into a great podcast. I'm a 50-year-old divorced man for about a year and a half. I've dated 6 or 7 different women since my divorce. The relationships have been anywhere from a few dates to 3 months. I have been turned down for dates by a few women. One woman told me she was seeing someone else and politely declined. I see her all the time and want to ask her out again. It's been 6 months since being turned down by her. But is persistence a virtue? Or is it creepy? Donald.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Do you think
it's
so?
desperation?
Completely creepy.
Yeah.
6 months later, you think it's creepy?
Move on, dude. There's
really?
more women out there than...
Well, okay.
I agree with there's more women out there, but I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with being persistent.
Thank you. I agree. And what if you don't know or understand the reason you two creep wits of why you rejected us? What if you were having a bad day? What if a grandparent was passing away?
What if there was broke with a boyfriend?
What if you're right? So I go back to that communicating. If you don't know why, there's no reason you can't just, hey, you know what? Is it me or, do I smell bad? No, but you can find out what it is, and then if she rejects you again or says no, let's not call it rejection, says no, back off.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
the second time, then it's done.
Right. I think she would have said something to him if she had broken up and she had
with this person she was supposed to be seeing.
Right.
Well, that would mean she was like very interested in this guy. She may not be thinking about it at all and may have totally forgotten that he had asked her out. He may have also indirectly asked her out, and so she may have not been aware that he was asking her out on a date the first time. So this time, I would say to go back if you do want and say, you know what, I would kill myself if I didn't give this a second chance.
Yeah, I would just say,
I want to take you out for dinner next week.
I'm thinking when we get divorced, you're going to be sad at first.
Right. But 6 months later, dude.
Or change your approach. I am a firm believer that if a man really wants a woman, he can get her. Yep. But it's all about how he approaches it. If the direct approach isn't
it's all
working,
about how he kills her or drugs her.
But let her get a chance to get to know you in a non-threatening way. Because the pressure of, let's go out is all of a sudden like, now I got to date you like this. Well, how about we just hang out as friends? You get to know me as a person. We build something.
And I believe you can get out of the friend zone.
You can.
You can go from friend zone
You know what you
zone.
do? You start hitting on their best friend. And when their best friend likes you, all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute, he's mine.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you had this situation.
Yeah.
He pursued his girlfriend for a year.
For over a year, yeah. It took me a year to get her.
And now he doesn't like her boobs.
I was about to say,
No, she's look. I love my girl. She's beautiful. She's great.
Right.
But it took me a year to pursue her, and she's the only girl that said no to me, and that's why I wanted her so bad. And then it literally got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm done with you. And one of her girlfriends liked me, so I was talking to her girlfriend. And then the next thing you know, she's like, wait, you can't be doing that. You're mine.
Nice.
She hung on for 8 years.
I would just say with this, the third time is a charm isn't the best saying to follow. I'd say the second time should be the charm. Third time, you're the weirdo.
I agree.
You guys are creeple.
I agree.
I love it.
Okay, so Donald, I hope that answers your question. Hello, ladies and Mo and guests. Like the show, very entertaining. My wife and I get along very well. We were both voted class class clowns in our senior years,
So
which
was
tells
I.
you, were you really? Actually, that's no
Pathetic,
surprise. Which tells you about our personalities. We've been married for 16 years, but getting my wife to sleep with me is like pulling teeth. And then when she does sleep with me, it's like I am pulling her teeth. She says that she just has no sex drive. I ask her about her fantasies, and all she fantasizes about is sleeping.
Oh my God, her and I should be besties.
I know,
Yeah, I was
seriously.
like, is this Kristen's boyfriend?
I think
Exactly.
so. I really think so.
Yeah.
Listen, Holly compares sex to like going to the gym. She's like, I don't necessarily want to go.
At the
know
beginning.
I have to.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
I'm there, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's great. I love it. Why did I think bad of this? But it's getting there to that
Right.
point that I'm like, oh my God.
So let me say,
Totally.
medically speaking, the first thing I would do is wonder if she needs, to go to the doctor. There could be hormone issues.
Right.
There could be
be
lethargic
depressed.
issues, depressed.
Should stop having gluten, maybe.
Yeah, stop having gluten. Is her estrogen too low? Things like that, because depression is, sexual dysfunction is a symptom of depression.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll shut up now.
No, but that's really good. No, but that's a good point to to check it. If she's
Check
always
that
tired
out.
and always sleepy,
Right.
I completely agree. But what would you advise him to do? Oh, this is Chad, by the way. Chad asked the question.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I would say first see a doctor. And
Yeah.
if that helps, then.
Well, then, okay, back
proceed
up. I
from
would
there.
say I agree with you, and I love to agree to disagree with you. First, talk about it. Maybe there is something about his technique, or maybe they're doing the same thing every time. Honey, every time you ask me to blow you, then you kiss me a little down there, and then you enter me missionary style, and then you roll over and we go to bed. Maybe she sounds like Thursday night for us. Maybe she needs a little more spice.
Yeah.
So first, I guess I would say talk about it. And I agree with you. I just like to fuck with you. Go to the doctor. See a doctor.
Well, he did say since we've been married, once every 2 months is the norm for us. We didn't have premarital relations because of our conviction, so that's interesting as well. She never was an affectionate person or romantic, but how do I spice things up, or how can I increase her sex drive? I don't think you can increase somebody's sex drive.
Well, there's medication out there that they could take. I think one popular one is called DHEA, and it increases.
But talk to a doctor first before.
Yeah, you got to go get it subscribed, but it increases.
Subscribed like a magazine.
Prescribed. I subscribe to it. No, but
it's $19.95 a month.
It's great. No, but these things will increase her hormones. Another thing is women, as they get older, especially around 40, they have lubricant issues. So lubricant could help out because that could be physically painful for her sex,
Or she's just not attracted to him.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, is that ever the case? Is that ever the case that some women just aren't sexual?
Both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nope.
Yeah, she's with the buff dude. Yeah, that problem.
1% of the population is asexual. So is she part of that? I don't know, clinically speaking. There are, as you said, a lot of women, due to dryness, due to loss of desire, due to concern of their scent, due to concern of their body, after kids, all that stuff, who lose their passion, lose their
Concern
interest.
of his body.
Yeah, well, look at those PDE5 inhibitors. They don't give you the desire. Viagra doesn't give you the desire. It gives you the ability.
Right.
You still need to, you still need to have the desire to use it. Because just because you take Viagra or Cialis, you will not get an erection. Once you see something, some men say the wind blows. Right. Others say, no, it takes still a lot of work. So Mo's right. I mean, you got to look at what's going on outside of the bedroom before you really start to analyze how to make the bedroom better.
Right.
And she could be unhappy in the marriage. She could be unhappy with herself.
Well, and they have convictions as well. That's the whole thing. They didn't have premarital sex, so they have certain belief systems. So she may think it's sinful. She may have a negative thought around sex.
I grew up super Catholic. I have the guilt kind of thing, and that's always a super turn off emotionally for me. I look at sex.
But isn't that why you get
creepy.
married? Because then you can just do it all the time.
Yeah,
but that's not why. That's not why she wanted to get married.
Mormon grew up Mormon.
I grew up Mormon.
Really?
You're not supposed to do anything. You're not even supposed to give your husband
You broke
a
that
blowjob.
rule.
So
totally
taboo.
Can't masturbate.
But then your husband could have 3 wives. Or 4
Right.
wives.
It's totally different.
But it's interesting. Well, we're actually going to talk about this on a later episode, but I do find that, when a lot of women are unhappy with something with the marriage, that maybe they're not communicating or they're subtly communicating and the guy's not picking up on it, then that's when a woman starts to sort of pull away and that sex drive totally decreases because she's not turned on by her husband. She's like, you didn't help me clean up the house. So therefore, and it's not like that she's thinking that in her head, but it's like, why would I want to do this with you if you can't even put the dishes
This is a
away.
gift.
Or
Why do I wanna
whatever
give you
it
a
is.
gift?
Yeah. And so, okay, I would get the book, The 5 Love Languages, and find out, what your wife's love language is, and maybe start speaking to that love language a little bit more. Talk and communicate
Mine's
about
Braille.
what's going on in the relationship.
The value
Yeah.
of the vagina. How much do you value the vagina?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just really communicate with your wife, I think, Chad. That's our advice. And that is it for Analyze This. Thank you so much for your questions. Please send in your questions to ask@askwomenpodcast.com. I promise we will get to them. I know it's taken us a long time, but we get hundreds every week. So it's been challenging, but thank you again. And thank you so much, Mike and Holly, for being on the show.
This was fun.
Mike and Pockets, sorry about that. But yeah, tell people how to get in touch with you and how to listen and watch your shows.
Monday through Friday, PlayboyRadio.com. It's free around the world now. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Awesome. Swing with Holly and Michael. Then at SwingTime69 on Twitter is really the best way to do it because then we can direct you other places and all that good stuff. And then definitely would love to have having all 4 of you would be great on our show in the Playboy Radio studio. Because we could just have more. I mean, this would have been great. Now we have to cancel now, or not cancel, but finish. And now let's continue it over.
Right, yeah. I mean, we still have all these awkward questions.
Yes,
so I would love to keep them coming.
That's the best for us. Would you agree when we bring guests in that ask us questions? We love that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because I'm sure you've talked about everything. So now you're like, okay, well, what else do you want to know? We're happy to answer.
You're amazing, all 3 of you. Thank you so much.
You're
Thanks for coming.
fantastic
This
as
was fun.
well. Thank you for being so open.